us, it is quite straightforward, meaning that you should be able to write your research objective. Okay, so I would like to open up for discussion. Okay, in terms of the topic that we have already covered today, in terms of the research objective. Okay, it is the general objective as well as the specific objective. So anybody would like to ask question or give comments on the topic that we have already discussed just now?
Prof,
Yes,
good
again.
evening. I have a question about the general and the specific objective. So for the general, the one sentence is enough, right? So how about the specific objective, and how many specific objectives is sufficient for good research?
Okay, good question. In terms of the general objective, yes, it is normally being written in one sentence, and it is a general statement. Okay, for example, like just now I mentioned about the you want to, the aim of the study is to investigate the performance of a car vehicle. You didn't mention about the what kind of performance. Is it in terms of the speed, or is it in terms of the fuel consumption? Because you do not mention it there. So that is the statement for the general objective, and then in the specific objective, you may you can state that to compare the effect of certain design parameters, the tire width with the the speed of the car in term when you want to put the first specific objective, and then you can clearly define the second one. But normally the specific objective, you normally put down only one verbs, okay, one action verbs. For example, like you just put to compare something. You cannot put the first objective is to identify and to design. You do not put two verbs in one objective. You just choose one, okay, to identify the performance parameter that affect the car performance. And then number two, you may probably mention about another one. So you do not you do not put more than one verbs in one specific objective. Okay, is that clear again? So in terms of numbers, you also ask about how many specific objective is enough. So it depends on the study. Normally, for a master research, or dissertation, you will have 3 to maximum 4. You do not have suddenly you have 10 objective, and people will be amazed, because sometimes um, you eagerly to put as many objectives. And most of the time the objective is just a research question. All right, you can have one research objective to be followed by several research questions. Right, so don't mix with that. Later we will go on what are the research question all about. I don't want to mix. I want just you to focus on identifying what is the general aim, the general objective, and then try to write down 3 to 4 maximum specific objective. Do not go beyond that. At least for the master level. Even for PhD, student will just have 3 to 4 only. If you have 5, 6, 7, 8, suddenly it's actually not a major objective. It is actually we can cut here and there. It's not the real objective of the research, right? So, and furthermore, as I highlighted earlier, you have to ensure the research objective follow the definition. Remember the formula, formula, okay? And if it fulfill, okay, at least maybe most of the definition in the formula, meaning that it is a research objective. If it is not, okay, it may become a research question, for example. It is not really a research objective. Okay, any other question or comment?
Okay, Prof. One more thing about
Yeah.
let's say we are going to study about the three parameters or four parameters. So that means each of specific objective for the specific parameter, or maybe we can the first specific objective for the two parameters and the rest two for another specific objective.
Okay, that's very good. Again, when you talk about K chart, right? For example, you have already identified earlier
Prof.
that okay, you have identified in your K chart there are three design parameters, okay, and then you also have two performance parameters, right? So roughly, how many research objective are you going to do, right? So basically, if you have 3 and 2, you may follow that you can easily write a three research objective, the specific objective. So one for each design parameters, okay? Or you can combine them. So because there's no specific rules. For example, like you have two design parameters, suddenly you have three performance parameters. It doesn't mean that you're going to have only two specific objective. You can actually, because the way you write the specific objective, it depends on the thing that you're going to achieve in your study. And there's so many verbs that you can apply there, but at the end of the day, what is actually you want to achieve? For example, I give example again, the performance of the car just now, right? You may end up to compare the effect of different tire width with what the tire pressure, okay? And then another specific objective, you want to optimize the tire design, the shape of the tire itself, the design of the tire, on the performance or the comfortness, and then you can, because it doesn't have a specific rules. If you have certain numbers of design parameters, certain numbers of performance parameters, so it depends on the time. Again, there are two major things. The time that you are going to do. If you have all the time you need, for example, you have 20 years to do your master, you can have how many objective, right? But if you have a very specific time frame, you have only 2 semester or 3 semester, the maximum. So you have to make sure that the objective can be measured, can be attainable at the end of the study, right? So, and the rest of the objective can be done by other student that will be spelled out in the recommendation at the end of your dissertation. So that's why how many research objective, I can say 3 to 4, and it's also depend on the time frame. It also depend on the resources, available resources. If you your supervisor has sufficient funding, they can allow you to do some wonders. So if you need anything, they can just, I want to do the car performance. Okay, we buy Porsche Cayenne one, and another one we buy one Lamborghini. So you do not have a limitation in terms of the money. So it depends. If the supervisor doesn't have anything, maybe we just do simulation. Okay, we just pretend it is a Porsche, pretend it is a Lamborghini, and then we do the simulation compared with my V, for example. All right. Okay, so everything is very subjective. So, but the rule of thumb, you have one general objective, one statement, and then you have 3 to 4 specific objective, and use only one verb per specific objective. Okay. Anybody else?
Prof, I have a question.
Yes.
Okay. You see, you say
yes,
I
Martin.
can. As a research objective, I cannot use the simulate. For example, to simulate use MATLAB, I cannot to write this. And you say the action verb, the research objective can only use one action verb. But I have a research objective is right to obtain the mechanical arms, workspace, dish models, walk track, use MATLAB is right. I just use one action verbs obtain, but I have 3 parameter use MATLAB to get workspace, dish model, and walk track.
Okay, thank you, Martin. When you mentioned there to obtain, right, it is sufficient enough. Yeah. You want to obtain some parameters, right?
Yes.
Using MATLAB, you do not have to spell it inside the specific objective. Okay, so it can be used. You can use other methods, but the methodology will be spelled out in the methodology section, but not in the research methodology. You can. Some normally student will put it there using MATLAB, using finite element analysis, using CFD, using hand calculation, and so on. You do not have to put the methodology inside the research.
Yang belah kanannya, suruh buka.
You don't have to put it inside the research objective. Okay, so is that clear, Martin?
Sorry, Prof, I'm a little confused.
Okay.
I cannot use MATLAB.
No. You can use MATLAB, but you do not have to spell it out. You do not have to write it in the specific objective.
Okay. In the research objective, don't need to say write MATLAB. I just to obtain the mechanical arms workspace model. Okay. That's all.
Yes, that's all.
Okay. Clear.
Okay.
Clear. Thank you, Prof.
Okay. Good, Martin. And any other things? You can also ask about last week lecture about problem statement as well. If you have any query about last week lecture, also you can ask, because the project the topic today is very short. It's on research objective, so I think it is quite clear now. And you should be able to write your general objective and specific objective.
Actually, Prof,
okay.
Yesterday I show my in our meeting I show my general title, project title, and my paper title. You don't give me the say. I write is okay. I can share it again.
Yes, actually, yeah, because when you share your general title yesterday because there is a different platform, right? This is
right, Prof.
I cannot say it's right or wrong, because there's some thing that can be improved. So once you submit your in your assignment, right? I believe it is next week, right?
Yes.
Yes. So if you want to somewhat, I can't remember who asked. I think Visna asked me whether whether we can send and then we get some feedback. Yes, you can submit early, and then I will give response, and then you can resubmit. Meaning that it is a learning process. It's not something that you submit and then that's it. You get a mark. Instead of 10, suddenly you get 2 out of 10. So it's not right. So that's why we call it an activity. So you submit, and then I correct it, and I return it back, and then you resubmit. Or you can, if you want to WhatsApp me your if you do not want to put in a Putra Blast first, it's okay, because we still have time until I think 10 or 11 of December, right?
Okay, Prof. I will submit. Please give me some improved feedback.
Yes. I do expect there are mistakes. Don't expect it is going to be perfect. And it is a learning process. Yes, Prabhati.
question like way back for the first week one, because I'm trying to assimilate here. This design parameters and performance parameters. I'm having a bit of difficulty in differentiating these two.
Okay, right. Basically, some researchers call it differently, but normally in engineering we call it as the design parameters, where we can change the parameters, and we change the length, we change the weight, we change the parameters of the certain that will eventually bring effect to the performance parameters. For example, like we go back to the car performance, right? So if you change the tire pressure, right, eventually it will affect the speed, for example. It will affect the comfort. It will affect the performance of the car. And the performance of the car is the comfortness, the speed, and so on. So fuel consumption, that are the performance parameters. So anything that you change in the design parameters that will affect the performance parameters. That's the DP, design parameters, anything that you change, and then the performance parameter, the results, the end results. Another example, if you would like to see your room now, your room, the performance parameters may be the temperature, the temperature of the room. What are the design parameters? You change the setting in the thermostat on your air condition remote control, right? So you put the setting there, and at the end of the day, you increase the fan speed, the aircon speed, and then you get the desired temperature. So when you change the fan speed, you change the setting of the thermostat, that are the design parameters. And then the performance parameters is the temperature, you can have humidity in the room. So is it clear, the analogy, the example that
Yes.
I gave just now?
Yes,
Okay.
it's clear.
So but probably some students are having trouble if you are doing conceptual design. So what are the design parameters? What are the performance parameters? I can see probably that is what are you facing at the moment? If that is the case, if you are doing conceptual design, even a conceptual design, you have parameters that you fix, parameters that you change. And as at the end of the day, how do you say that your design is acceptable in terms of whether if just a design, okay, what are you have to come up with parameters that are saying that yes, this design is acceptable, this design is not acceptable. So the in terms of the it is quite complex. If we want to just say if it is an experiment or if it is a simulation, yes, it's quite easy. But if it is just a design, you must come up with the parameters saying that this is acceptable, this is not acceptable, right? So probably in your advanced design technique, okay, it will. I think is it Dr. Faisal or Dr. who's
teaching? We learned last
semester. Okay,
yes.
You have already gone through the process of the design stages, right? Okay, and then there are tools that say that yes, this design is acceptable. There are tools that saying that how to decide certain parameters. Okay. Yes. So probably we can try to, maybe if you have any trouble, you can forward to me in more detail so that I can advise accordingly.
Okay, Dr. Visna here.
Yeah.
Prof. So if let's say in the K chart, there are maybe 5 or 6 design parameters, but we only need 3 or 4. So do we still need to state all the design parameters, or we limit it to 3 or 4 only?
Yes.
Or maybe later we choose from all the 5 or 6.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Let's say you find out that there are 10 design parameters possible for the design or for the experiment, right? But in your case, you only focus on 3, right? So you have to write all the 10, but you just highlight that these are the 3 parameters that are going to be covered in your study, right?
So probably the 3 are the most related to each other.
Depending on the performance parameters.
Oh,
okay. So sometimes your study would like to see the fuel consumption, at the same time the comfortness. So the variable probably different.
Yes.
Okay. Fuel consumption may be related to the engine, maybe related to the tire, but the comfortness is there are other parameters. So maybe your study will cover both, right? But in certain cases, for a master researcher, just one set of parameters that are relevant. For example, like you want to study the fuel consumption, you just study fuel consumption. Comfortness is a different study. Maybe other student can focus on that.
So maybe later at the end, I can open it for improvement, or maybe for later study by others.
Yes, that is a recommendation, saying
recommendation,
that you can see that the work can be further implemented by other researchers, or by focusing on the other parameters that you do not cover in your work.
Yeah, so better list it down, all the parameters. Okay, thank you, Prof.
Okay, you are most welcome. All right, so for more activities, okay, again, you can communicate with me. You can submit your general title, specific title, and paper title through WhatsApp first. If you are not confident to submit directly, you can get my feedback, and I will give you feedbacks, and even your K chart, saying that okay, Prof. Rahim, please look at my K chart. Is it okay? Is it not okay? Right? And I would like you to further expand to write the problem statement. Right? Write your problem statement. At the same time, you can start writing your general objective and your specific objective. All right. So I will put up that would be another activity. Okay. Actually, it should come together with right after this is research questions, research question, and then hypothesis. Okay, and then so probably I can just because next week is a term break, and we have 1 week. We do not have any class next week, right? We are going to meet again in 2 weeks' time. So I think it's good that I give you some homework to write down the problem statement and to write down your research objective. Okay, and right afterwards we can have another activity for other topics, subtopics. Right. At meantime, yeah, Pavati. Is it Pavati? Yeah.
Yeah. Then okay, is it good to write the problem statement and then write the objective, and then we set our project title?
You can actually relook back. It has to be interrelated. Okay, so when you have normally the general title, the specific title, if the general title will come very at the early stage of the study, right? And while you go and then you try to draft your project title and specific title based on your results later on. So when you conducted your literature review and you find out that there is a gap in knowledge, then you can be able to write the problem statement, right? Once you have the problem statement, you then propose research objective, okay, and come up with research questions, and also put up the hypothesis, and then setting the boundary of your work, the scope of your work, okay, and of course proposing the methodology that you're going to do. So it is ideally it's that way, okay. But in realistic manner, where you as I said, the literature review it doesn't stop just only reading 10 or 50 papers. It is from the beginning of the research until the submission of the thesis, you are doing literature review. What does that mean? Is that you keep on updating the research problem, updating the objective. Maybe you also going to update the project title. You may want to update your general title, maybe, but it's very unlikely you because general titles is very general. Project title, maybe you revisit the project title before you submit your dissertation. That's why I said it is a continuous process, right? So similarly with the K chart, maybe after you complete the first round, suddenly you find another paper that state that, oh, instead of only having 4 parameters, there are the 5th parameters coming in. Other people has already reported that, right? And then you find out that, oh, there are another design parameters that need to be considered, okay? Or other people has already report the study that you are doing. So you have to change your direction a little bit, okay? Because in terms of research, of course, other people are also doing it. Okay, we want to make sure that you are not just duplicating other people's work, and what is the contribution to the knowledge. It doesn't have to be something novel at master level, but it has to be something different compared to other people, right? For example, like, of course, when you are talking about some of you are doing vertical farming, there are so many people doing vertical farming, right? So many people are doing the same approach. Okay, what is the difference that you are contributing to the knowledge, right? So at least there has to be 1 or 2 elements, right? It can be an improvement of the technique. It can be an application of new technology or new ways of harvesting the crops, new ways of managing the vertical farming and so on. I don't know, right? So as I said, it is a continuous process. You may come back and be able to look and refine the wording, because it's not cast in stone. It is research. This is what research all about.
Yeah, I was a bit worried if we fix the title now, we cannot change it. So okay, so meaning that we have time to revisit again and again. Right.
Yes. At the end of the day, of course, the purpose of having this particular subject is try to train you in terms of what are the best ways, maybe the best and the correct way at the moment, okay, for you to at least apply it for your dissertation, right? And maybe it is also useful when you want to embark on your further study for your PhD and so on, right? So I hope it will be beneficial for all of you. Okay. Yes, Anafi.
Okay, I have some question. Okay, let's say forward to my project lah. So I like design. So I mean, I'm start from the solution. I want to design a machine putu mayam, for example. Start from the Z to A. As we can see, I'm trying to automate the big small machine lah, but we know this one will make us easier. So I try to relate what's the problem statement. I mean, go to the Z to A lah.
Okay.
So, okay, my first question is, if I'm doing simulation on 3D, is it acceptable for the master paper?
Okay. You are asking about you want to do a product, right? A product of producing or automation of a machine that can produce putu mayam, if I've heard it correctly. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So, and then you want to do a detail design, all right?
Yes.
And then you want to do you said a simulation. You want to basically just to show that proof of concept through simulation only.
Yes.
Right. Okay, in terms of that, looking at for the Master of Innovation, yes, it is the innovation element is there. You are designing new thing, you are proposing new product that is not there in the market. Of course, no, but there's no machine. You just buy a box and you press a button. There's a putu mayam coming out from it. Okay, no, there's I don't know. I've never seen one before. So, but of course, but the elements of the engineering design, it has to be there. There must be some decision in terms of the calculation involved. Why you decide certain, for example, a putu mayam, maybe you have a nozzle that going to produce the putu mayam, the size and everything. It has to be. It's not just doing design. It must be also the engineering element behind it. It also applicable to all topics, and it's not just something you want to design. If it is just design, it is an interior design. It is a different master of design offered by the I think the School of Architecture, just next door. There's another innovation design, but it's more on aesthetic design. This is interior design, ID. But in our case, we have innovation and engineering design. So you cannot put aside the engineering element, the calculation, the decision that involved in the design of the product. Okay, of course, the material will come into place. The elements of engineering design must be there. Okay, it's not just doing simulation. Okay, this is the end product. So in terms of to answer your question just now, is it enough? If it is having the two elements, the innovation side of it, the engineering side of it, yes, it can be considered as the master level. Okay, Nafi.
Okay.
Looking forward to your putu mayam product, machine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I have difficulty to select the title. Okay. This is an example. So I say to improve the night market automated machine, for example.
Okay.
But I don't know how to relate, how,
okay. I mean, just to answer you quickly, of course, the first one you identify the system under study. The system under study is you already chosen putu mayam machine, right?
Okay, yes.
Okay, so what you want to do with the putu mayam machine? You want to design and development of a putu mayam machine, right? So whether it is going to be sold in the night market or where in a supermarket or whatever, probably it's not that important at the moment because you just at the stage of because it's never exists before, right? So you can just come up with at least identifying the system under study and identifying the you are going to do design and development or conceptual design only, right? That's the methodology is already there. So in the general title is already there, meaning that I can imagine that it can be done, and then you can come up with a specific title. Probably you can want to write in more specific manner, saying that design and development of a 3D conceptual of a Putumayam automated machine. So for space application, for example, for astronaut or whatever. So just put it down. Don't worry, it's not going to be your master thesis title. It is just an exercise for our subject. Okay, just put it down, and then I'll put my comment, and probably we can reiterate when we go into our assignment on writing the literature review. It's going to be very challenging. Of course, you are not going to find any literature focusing on Putumayam.
Yes.
Yes, but there are many other machine that already being published and produced. For example, just to say, from our food and process engineering department, they are already producing machine to produce so many kuih samprit. They have produced a machine. They produce machine of producing bahulu, producing so many things, and then they publish it. So you can refer to those kind of papers that even though it's not Putumayam per se, it is producing something. And then you can see what are the process, what are the parameters, what are the approach, and you can build up your K-chart and your literature review. Right?
Okay, Prof. Terima kasih.
Okay, very interesting. Okay, if not, I will put up the in Putra Blast in terms of the activity to write the problem statement, as well as the general objective and specific objective, right? And I expect that you can complete that within 2 weeks' time, right? And meanwhile, if you have any more question, you can communicate with me through WhatsApp, or you can email me your draft, or if you want to submit directly to Putra Blast also, I can download it and give my comment if it is daringly wrong, if it is totally misconception, for example, so it is not the right way to do it, or I would like to comment for those who are having a presentation yesterday. I think there are Martin showed so many horizontal items. So is it and I'm not really sure whether you are going to do all or you're going to do some of it. So I will give my comments later on when I receive your K-chart and general title. Same to all for those who are not taking part A. It is quite you can still submit whatever topic that you, I hope everybody has already chosen a topic, and just put it on paper, and then you can submit to me, and I will give my feedback before the final date for K-chart. All right. Okay. With that, thank you very much. Have a nice weekend and study break for 1 week. We are not going anywhere, but stay safe, and I'll see you back in 2 weeks' time. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you so much, Prof.
Thank you, Prof. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.